Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Mexico City Diablos. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Atlanta Falcons and our home team. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you look at this Salt Lake City ball club. They've been cooking these last couple months. Winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
And if you extrapolate that out to a full season, they'd be 14-2. And anyone in the NFL today would sign up for that.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Dante Fowler in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Ryan. He completes it to Julio Jones. And a nice gain at 21 yards. And that's the connection, Ryan to Jones, that this defense obviously has to key in on.
Certainly feels like they got the party started with that one, doesn't it? And when those two get in sync, it just scares the heck out of defenses because he can hit Julio Jones in a short zone, and he can take it the whole way.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. After the penalty, here's Freeman. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard. 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that open things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good. That middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Let's go. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
They run the play fake to Coleman. Now Ryan. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Vic Beasley in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
That's complete to Taywan Taylor. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. They go play action here on first down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be 4th down. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, They may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st down, Newton. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tack McKinley, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a 1st down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he picks up the 1st down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Back to the ground on 1st. It's McCaffrey. And he takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Newton. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. In for the score. And his guys have taken a 1st quarter lead. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn it into 1st downs and hopefully points.
And finding the tight end Hooper. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
From the gun on third down, Ryan. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on the final play of this first quarter. They take over 1st and 10 following the interception. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now following the interception, here's Newton. Taking a shot for Samuel. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored one, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Here's Newton. And Ingram holds it in. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And that one was a lot of fun right there, because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Now Newton on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. From the gun, here's Newton. Hard throw, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for... A flag there offensively, several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the...
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly...
And it's caught. Touchdown. DJ Moore, his 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, a long touchdown pass into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. He struggled. His team has struggled. You talked to me a lot about looking to your leaders. Maybe it's time for him to put his mark on this game.
Agreed. And how that has to happen is somehow he's got to flush out everything that's happened so far and almost start over and get back to that confident level and know that he can play the game, because so far this has been a real struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got the interceptions, trying to turn it around. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, Ryan. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
This is taken at about the 14. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now he's flushed out left. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, Ryan. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And his kick is indeed good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call a sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Getting set to go again here. Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you're talking about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the 2nd quarter.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here's Newton. Wide open receiver complete. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems...
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Well, we heard it, how heavily they stressed effective goal line offense this week in practice. Pays off there, they punch it in.
Now not only have we heard it, we saw it. All that preparation. And what it means is going back and examining what's been going wrong before. How can you correct it? Maybe it's even changes of personnel, but it paid off in this situation.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They've targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep, get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and get him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. that appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Now Ryan. And his throw here is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And it's complete. Hooper. Yeah, they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 18 yards there to first down. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Ryan, he's got Freeman here. It's complete. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Again, Ryan. And his throw is incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
To throw on third down, Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is fielded at the 7. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Cam Newton getting ready to go again on offense. He's got to be feeling pretty good, playing well. Team has the lead, so just looking to mount a drive here that ends in the end zone.
And all quarterbacks will tell you, hey, we love a running game, helps us out. But at the end of the day, they want to rely on their arm. Throw the football, feel good about things, keep things moving in the right direction. Right now, that's exactly what we're seeing.
And we'll see if that continues. A very solid gain of 27.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Room to run inside the 40. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. Taking a shot for Samuel. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Cam Newton with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Point after, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. 13 seconds, the time remaining in the half as they come up on first down. Now a play fake here on first down. And Jones has it over the middle. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. On On second down, Ryan. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. The Falcons on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Final play of the half, it's Ryan. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 33, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. We now proceed to the start of the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. And they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time. But the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. They're spinning away. And at a 42-yard line here and brought down there. It'll be a gain of 11. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Third and 2, Newton. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two. Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now this offense about ready to take over again. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now Cam, option left. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 3.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Newton. And an alley to run. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And an alley to run. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. Oh, leaves him behind on the spin. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 1st and 10, Newton. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. They'll run it now out of the gun. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up 1st and goal.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. A shotgun snap for Newton. And it's caught. Touchdown. 4 touchdown passes now for Cam Newton. And this offense continues to pour it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
His throw incomplete. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days. Offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Now a handoff looking right. He finds it opening past the 40. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Pitching it out to McCaffrey. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll go down at the 28. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
And they'll go on the ground. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now Cam, option left. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Cam Newton with his 5th touchdown pass of the game. And this offense is running away with this one. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm.
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Dante Fowler in there to get him for a loss of 5.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Here's Ryan to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And they'll get him down here at the 23. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd down and 12. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. And some room to run now. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them. Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable.
The ball's out. McCaffrey lost it. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Following the fumble recovery, it's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
Let him go. White 25.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Luke Kuechly coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. From the gun, it's Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. This is McCaffrey on the give. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Now it's Newton. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now they try the right side here. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the home team here, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come to town. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll get a home date next week against the Minnesota Vikings. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.